week in review. The 2017 session of the Maryland General Assembly is nearing its end, and different groups from around the state are assessing their successes and their disappointments. David Rodich, Executive Director of SEIU Local 500, is here to tell us about how labor's agenda has fared in this General Assembly. Social media is fun for lots of people, but unfortunately it can have unexpected and dangerous results as well. Mariana Cordier, a local attorney, has some warnings about social media's implications. A badly needed new Math and Science Center at the Tacoma Park Silver Spring campus of Montgomery College is being planned at long last. Brad Stewart, the college's provost, or campus provost, is here to report on where this important building stands. HIV, unfortunately, is still an active disease in our area. CCI Health and Wellness Practice has a program that's trying to address the illness. Emily Pavetto, lead nurse care coordinator, is here to tell us about this program. David, it's always good to see you.
Don, it's great to be back.
And you're here to tell us that labor has done incredibly well in the 2017 Maryland General Assembly,
Well,
correct?
I'll put it in this frame. We're working incredibly hard, right, in a number of different areas. There's a couple of areas I'd like to focus on.
Okay, good.
Excuse me, having to do with the expansion of worker rights. For the fourth year in a row, we are back trying to pass an omnibus collective bargaining bill that would extend the rights for community college employees at every level to form a union if they choose to.
So we're talking about the entire state, because my understanding is Montgomery College has unionized workers at all levels.
That's absolutely correct. They're the only community college in the state to have accomplished this with their employees.
We like to be number one.
And
Well,
you are in our book.
And I think it demonstrates also that there's nothing to fear, right?
Absolutely. I mean, there's very, very little opposition to the bill externally outside of a group of community college presidents who, surprise, surprise, think that their employees being organized is a bad idea. But in fact, at Montgomery College, we've enjoyed a phenomenal relationship with the college. Our members, who are mainly the part-time faculty there, are treated very, very well. Mm-hmm. And it's always interesting to point out that tuition rates at Montgomery College in percentage terms have increased at a much slower pace than other colleges in the state where their employees don't enjoy unions.
Well, so you've got that.
Right.
What's another issue that you have?
Well, another big one, and again, this was the fifth year we're back trying to get this accomplished, and I think we've done it this year, is a paid sick leave bill, which would basically say that for any employer working in the state of Maryland, you have to extend your employees, in most circumstances, a minimum of 5 days of paid sick leave during a year.
I find it hard to understand how there is not sick leave provided to everyone. Why do we have a situation that requires this? Why are employers not providing sick leave now?
Well, I think the rhetorical answer is, why is this even a controversial question?
That's what I mean, right. I guess that's
to
even
us,
right.
This is basic common sense. I mean, if you look at the different industries that people work in, seriously, do you want people in the healthcare industry or people in the food industry coming to work sick? Is that really
does this include like hourly wage workers
Yes.
as opposed to salary, or is it both, or?
It includes pretty much everybody.
Okay.
Because everybody, I don't know if you know
right.
this, I don't know, and maybe this is new to all of us and our viewing audience as well, everybody gets sick.
Yep. It's been known to happen on occasion.
And mortgages still need to be paid. I'm sorry.
So does this apply to small businesses, or is there
Yes,
an excerpt if you only have 5 employees, do you have to do this?
Well, there are some very minimal limitations in terms of it, but I just wanted to mention the bill did pass. Governor Hogan threatened to veto the bill. He pronounced it dead on arrival, and the state Senate thankfully responded by passing it by a veto-proof majority. So veto away, Governor.
All right. So bargaining rights, sick leave, any other issues that have been taking up your time?
Well, certainly there are other issues that are important. We're always very, very cognizant of state funding to public education. We're in a national environment now where we have a president who obviously is doing everything he can to try and diminish and destroy public education.
Right.
And we want to make certain that that does not trickle out to the state of Maryland. So we're very cognizant of both K through 12 funding for the Montgomery County Public School System, for Montgomery College, where we have 900 members, right? And obviously, as a statewide policy, we're amongst the best in the state, probably nationally in terms of public education.
So this is funding that the state is going to give to the public schools. Is there an effort or something with regard to federal funding?
There is going to be, I mean, we're obviously very, very concerned about an incoming Secretary of Education who I don't think has ever set foot in a public school, who is talking about redirecting billions of dollars out of Title I, which serves the neediest students in public education, and redirect that into a corporate education.
What would corporate education look like? I don't have kids, so that's
Well,
why
the
I
private
don't know.
schools we're talking about, then the charter
Sure.
schools and some of these
That's
others,
right.
yeah.
That's
we,
right.
We have about a minute left. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the state of organized labor right now. We've got a new presidential administration. Where are things going over the next years?
Well, we're actually very excited and very, very optimistic, quite frankly, because of the crisis that happened out of the elections. We feel like there's great opportunity. There's movement happening. We just have to be smart enough to work in partnership with other progressive organizations. And I think you're going to see a real growth in the American labor movement.
So out of what seem to be ashes comes
Threat.
strength.
Threat can sometimes translate into opportunity, and I think, speaking for SEIU, that's exactly what we see. And we're going to be part of the resistance in a very, very aggressive way, and membership growth is a key component to that happening.
Look forward to having you back, David.
Thanks, it's great to be back.
It's always a
again.
pleasure. Mariana Cordier,
Hello.
my favorite attorney in Rockville.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So I thought it was only my clients who were idiots when it comes to social media. Tell me about what you find. Now, Mariana, your story we're talking about is the
impact.
yeah, that's right. The terrible impact that unthinking posts can have on your legal situation.
You really need to consider, that it's as if you're publishing your life in a newspaper for old school,
Or on TV.
comparison or TV. Because I have had a number of cases, particularly in divorce and custody, and sometimes in the criminal field, where people post things that are really detrimental to them, and they don't really appreciate how accessible that information is by outside of their, friended folks, or they friend people they don't know who they are because they're anonymous in the way that it's not their name or it's a made-up name. You've got,
Well, give us a specific.
well, I mean, one of the most horrible examples currently is scandal is the Marine Facebook page, where the 30,000 of our military men who are entrusted with our country and everything, showing a sincere lack of respect for women, have posted without the women's approval pictures of them. Not all of them are where they're nude or where they're inappropriate or sexual. Sometimes they're just walking around base or something, and the comments are of sexual nature as to what they want to do to them, and really it's almost a sexual assault promotion. And
Should that be criminal?
yeah, well, it should be, and it could be, because if the woman becomes aware of a threat, now, and this is the other one, when you send a text message or you send a message through Facebook or Twitter or whatever, it says, I want to kill you, I'm so mad at you, I could kill you. That's illegal. You cannot make threats, even if in your mind it's not a credible threat. You didn't really mean it, which is always the response when the person's called out on it.
One of the things I've been very alarmed about, especially since the election, is how this form of social media, like Twitter, has been used by elected officials, one in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue will remain nameless, right, who use it as a tool of national propaganda.
It really is, and you know what people need to take into consideration is that President Trump and how he's using this, he has almost demonstrated have an ability to avoid and escape responsibility that does not apply to the common person.
That's right.
So be aware that you are not Trump, and eventually his day may come, because there are repercussions for making statements with regard to other people, the way using false information, especially if you're accusing someone falsely, those have legal repercussions.
Yeah,
And
we
so-
can't pardon ourselves.
No, we cannot.
So why do you think people actually post things on their Facebook page that reveal they're engaged in criminal activity?
I don't think
What do
they
you think
pause
is-
to
they
think.
don't
I
think
think
about
they, yeah, part of it is it's the funny factor, the immaturity of understanding the repercussions,
Well, there
especially
wasn't-
if they're younger, if they're older, or, you know, some folks think that they can lie and there is no way of catching them. In family cases, I can't tell you how many times the person says, oh, I didn't go to Jamaica and I'm not involved with any woman. I don't know what you're talking about. And here we have all the pictures of the Jamaica trip, of them, you know, kissing and all the rest. And then the response was, well, how did you get that? It wasn't, oh,
The
I'm
Gary
sorry, I
Hart,
lied.
the Gary Hart gotcha.
Right.
on the boat.
And so those gotchas exist. You know, there's a lot of articles of top 10 things or top 20 things not to do. Talking about your boss in a bad way, not a good idea. Talking about your coworkers, trash talking is not a good idea, because if you can't say it to them to their face, don't do it in a
Right.
social media environment.
Got about a minute left. And Brad, you wanted to do a follow-up.
Yeah, what was particularly disturbing is earlier this week there was a news story about a gang rape in Chicago that was transmitted through Facebook Live.
Right.
Why?
Yeah, why?
Why would that be something you would want to do? First of all, you know, that video will be used in a criminal proceeding, because by posting it, by filming it, you're agreeing to allowing that. There is no privacy. There is no.
About 30 seconds left.
And you're going to be identified. And what is your defense? I mean, and so on one hand, that's awful. On the other hand, it's great for the prosecutors. But be aware of what you're posting. Be aware if you're going on vacation. Don't tell the whole world, because then there are people who might want to break into your house. You know, we've seen this happen time and time again. Be smart.
What a great way to end your segment. Thanks, Mariana Cordier.
Sure.
We'll be right back. We've got to take a break. We'll see you on the other side. And we're back. Brad Stewart, Dr. Stewart, Provost Extraordinaire. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Math and Science Building, we've talked about this in the past. You've mentioned this through the years, the huge need at the campus. And
Yep, we've been planning this for more than a decade.
So exciting.
And now we're just a couple of months away from getting design money from both the state and the county to be able to hire an architect and to begin to consult with the community in some design charrettes. And start drawing pictures on paper of what a brand new math science center will look like on the Tacoma Park Silver Spring campus. Our friends at Germantown and our friends at Rockville recently opened new facilities.
Yes, they did.
And we've been jealous for a while here. And now it's time, it's finally our turn.
congratulations. This is great.
Congratulations.
What do you hope to get? What do you need to achieve? Or what, first of all, what's the why is it needed? And what do you hope to achieve
Well,
with the new
STEM
building?
careers are the biggest workforce challenge in Montgomery County. And if you want people of color and if you want women to be able to access STEM careers like engineering, the life sciences, being doctors, et cetera, community colleges are the people who produce that. About half the scientists in this country started in a community college.
Wow.
And so we need a state-of-the-art facility to relieve our overcrowded and outdated facilities. One of our buildings is currently 56 years old.
Whoa. I happen to think that 56 years old is very young, Brad.
Yeah, but it's ancient for a science
We're talking
building.
about building, not a person, Don.
I'm taking that personally.
It's older than our president, Dr. Pollard.
Okay.
You know, Montgomery College has a well-deserved reputation of offering a world-class education. When we think about that school, we don't think in terms of the old stereotype of this is grade 13 and 14. This is a school that has a standard of rigor that is right up there with the University of Maryland. And facilities do matter. I mean, if you talk to our members at Montgomery College, they will tell you that their teaching environment is a student's learning environment.
Exactly.
And it's unconscionable that, from our perspective, that it has taken this long to get this.
And the need for the sciences is so important because there is, I think, across the entire country, less and less graduates in the sciences.
So the chair of my math department is degrees are from Princeton. And he likes to point out that we're teaching 21st century concepts and content in a building from the mid 20th century. And he says, I'm good, I'm really good, but I may not be that good at being able to overcome what's going on.
Well, I mean, you've got lots of science. I mean, what do you think that's?
Well, she's one of our alums.
And being a Montgomery College alum, I can definitely say that it's great to hear. When I was a student at both the Rockville campus and the Silver Spring campus, and there was a real need. That was when they were building the center right on Georgia Avenue, and I thought to myself, I really considered continuing my nursing degree at Montgomery College, but I had the facilities weren't what I was looking for.
Yeah,
and I think
people tell us that all the time. We just had a community conversation forum on Tuesday night with the city of Tacoma Park, and one of the MC parents stood up and said, my son did great at Montgomery College, Tacoma Park, Silver Spring, until he started taking his science classes, then I had to send him to Rockville. So we have to fix this. This has been a priority that we've been thinking about since 2004.
And you think about the quality of your faculty. I mean, going to your math, I know some of your math professors at Tacoma Park, and they've forgone job opportunities at 4 years, prestigious 4-year schools because they love the atmosphere, not necessarily the classroom the environment, but they love the atmosphere of being with the students, of being able to teach as being their primary duty, not research, not find money, to teach. Tell me a little bit more about that.
So our mission statement says we empower our students to change their lives. And my faculty come to us and they stay with us. And actually, I came here 12 years ago because I saw the same thing. You actually see what you can do for somebody on a daily basis. And so it's not at a distance or anything like that. You're up close and personal with the students. You know, we rarely have more than 30 students in a classroom. Our faculty members, full and part-time, the SEIU faculty are extremely dedicated to providing personal attention.
So why not maximize that learning opportunity?
20 seconds left.
It's a rhetorical question, but we've got to get this done. Hopefully this year.
And I guess what he's saying is that with the help of SEIU, they'll be going to bat for you at the county, at the state, and federal levels.
They
We've
always
always
testify
been a
for us in all
good.
of our budget hearings.
Excellent.
They're right there for us.
Excellent.
And what's the target date for
Last word.
completion? Do we have that? Do we have that yet?
In
All
about
goes
4
well.
years. So we'll break ground after a couple-year design process, and then we'll be done in 2021.
In time for your 40th birthday.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Brad.
Thanks.
Emily, your first time on the show?
Yes, thank
We're
you.
excited.
for
We've
having
had
me.
fantastic people from CCI here, and I'm sure we
Yep.
have another fantastic person from CCI. HIV.
Yes.
It's depressing to be thinking that we're still dealing with HIV in our community. But you're finding it every day. I mean, you're working hard on HIV issues. So tell us a little bit about what the current HIV situation is in Montgomery County.
So the overall, the rates in Maryland, we had, and this is 2015 data, there were about 30,000 cases of HIV, people living with HIV. In both Montgomery County and Prince George's County, Montgomery County accounted for about 10% of those cases, and Prince George's County about 21%.
Wow.
So it's a very big issue. The wonderful thing about HIV is that over the years, the treatments have become so much better. And it's not the disease that we knew, even 5
It's not
years
the
ago,
death
let alone.
sentence it was.
Right.
Oh, yes, right. And even, 10, 20 years ago. It is a totally different landscape now as far as HIV. What has happened, though, is that the knowledge of the population in general has still remained back in 10 years ago, 20 years ago, so there is still that stigma, and a lot of people don't know, oh, there are new treatments. Oh, now we have medications with minimal to no side effects. We have, quality of life is great. So at CCI, what we've done is 2 years ago, we started a program to treat HIV. Previous to that, CCI is mostly a primary care practice. We were not treating HIV. We had to refer those patients out.
Okay.
So now we're treating them in-house, and
Where are you guys located?
we're located in Greenbelt.
Okay.
So I was going to ask, I'm interested on this point about the stigma. In terms of getting people who do have symptoms, who may fear they have it, yet very fearful of exposing themselves publicly, what are we doing in terms of that? Because from what I understand, the survival rate in terms of years of living with it is improved from like the 1980s.
Yes, definitely. So one of the big things about, I believe it was last year, the state of Maryland changed its HIV testing laws. And so before, you used to have to consent to an HIV test and say, you had to sign a paper and say, yes, I'm okay with taking this test. Well, that in a way was leading to stigma. And so now what they did last year was they removed that. So they made it, you had to opt out. So they made it like any other blood work that you might do for your, to check your cholesterol or your blood sugar. So what we've done at CCI, and it's actually part of the CDC recommendation, is to offer HIV testing routinely.
Okay. Good.
So you guys do outreach work and education work to get people to come in? Do you come to college campuses and say, hey, come see us at CCI? Or?
Well, we do, but not specifically as a primary care. So the idea is making HIV part of HIV testing as part of your routine care,
Right.
not a
Okay.
special entity on itself. So if we have somebody that comes in, we definitely will identify risk and test based on risk. But it's also the idea is if I'm, between the age of 15 and 65, I go into my doctor's office, that my doctor does check my HIV status. Before, what was happening is that we were waiting for doctors to identify risk. And as you know, when you go into the doctor, not everybody is truthful.
So then you come in. So then you come in once identified, if somebody's been identified as HIV positive, and then that's where then you all step in providing
So
care.
these long-term relationships?
Oh, yes.
We've got about a
Yes,
minute left.
Yes.
It's going by too quickly.
So we were able to build a very long-term relationship with our patients, and we do care coordination. We do. They have access to behavioral health, all kinds of stuff.
I think of Magic Johnson as
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
and going on. And so is there any reason why someone who becomes HIV positive now and takes the right treatments and lifestyle and everything else can't live on to a very similar to what they would have as a normal expected life?
Yes, it's totally possible. I see those people every day in my office. It's an amazing. It's why I do what I do. Yeah. So it's amazing, and to see if you can identify it early, then you can help people avoid getting sick.
What a great hint. Get it early, avoid getting sick. Thanks, you guys, for this show. What a wonderful, wonderful set of topics. And I want to thank all of you and the viewing audience for joining us for this week's edition of Montgomery Week in Review. I'm Don Mooers, and I invite you to join us next week at this very same time.